Hi, I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you. Okay, let's try this add-on to the Medal of Honor Allied Assault game and see how it stacks up. I actually got Allied Assault, Spearhead, and Breakthrough in a package called War Chest. I hadn't really planned on starting on the Medal of Honor series yet, but I found this and 3 other games in the series at one of my favorite used bookstores for next to nothing, so I figured may as well go for it. As we saw, the first game had lots of good points and scads of bad points. Still, I did admit that it showed promise, and I meant it. Now it's time to see how that promise is starting to pan out. Okay, new game. Normandy. Why am I not surprised? Difficulty easy, since this is my first time through it. And here we go. We start with the usual newsreel footage and our character doing some voiceover to set the stage.
No doubt the Germans expect us to hit the Atlantic Wall by sea. But the night before the dawn landing, our unit will parachute behind enemy lines. Along with the British 6th, we'll clear a path to move our army off the shore. The plan is to rendezvous with Allied troops from the beachhead, work our way back into France, and snuff out resistance along the way. God be with us. Sergeant Jack Barnes, June 5th, 1944.
Eh? Well, this is a little different. We're part of what should be a nice crossfire to keep the Germans off balance, to say nothing of cutting supply lines so they can't get more reinforcements and such. Okay, off we go.
Say hello to France, boys!
What's this? A running count of the good guys and bad guys? I know a lot of games do that in multiplayer, but why are we doing it here? And what good is it? Once you hit the ground, things are happening too fast to pay attention to it anyway. Well, let's get on with it. The controls are the same as before, and you have to have the main game installed to do this one, so it assumes you know what to do. Right off the bat, you get to play with the German anti-aircraft gun. A little further on, you get to play with another one. So far so good, in spite of all the clutter on the screen. I really need to see if there's a way to get rid of that. We're looking for artillery positions to take out, and it's starting to look like there's one in that barn. Okay, this is just getting annoying. Why did it tell me that so many times? I think I understand what we're trying to do, but it's just making things harder to see and causing distraction. So we take out the first gun.
Here we go. Barnes, you're with me. Wait for my order.
Okay, what am I supposed to do? One of the other guys blew the door. And how was I supposed to know that was going to happen? Oh well, on with the task at hand. Now we have to find the next one. And here again we see one of the big failings of this little cluster of games. The compass is pointing right, but you can follow it until you can't go any further and you won't find your goal. Why? Because you have to get past a barricade under a bridge to the right of that in order to get where the damn thing is actually trying to point.
Oh, you can't get out backwards. Gotta go forwards to go back.
I ran into this a lot in the main game, and nothing has improved in this add-on so far. I do have to admit, though, some things have gotten better. Look at that! I shot him in the chest and he went down! Even better, he stayed down. In the main game, he would have gotten back up and made me shoot him at least 5 more times before he stayed down. Cool! Okay, so we still have some of that. But weapon effectiveness is orders of magnitude better than it was before, so I'll take what I can get. Forward we go. What just happened? I have no idea. Oh, he planted a bomb. That would have been nice to know. There's a lot of that already. You have no idea where they are or what they're doing. You know why he ran ahead and got killed? Because the script says so. No, I mean besides that. Because he was just running like a normal person. If he ran like this, they couldn't hit him, because I sure as hell can't hit him when they dance like that. Yes, they still do the Schmierskohoven when they run. It looks totally goofy, but it sure makes them hard to shoot. So you clear this place out and move on.
Hands are dead ahead!
Why did the game terminate there? Because the captain got killed? Which one is he? What was he doing? Where is he? Who am I? What am I doing here? Why is that camera staring at me? Thanks, I needed that. I seriously have no idea what happened, but there's nothing to do but try again. What? I was chasing one guy around and around, and somehow he took out enough of my squad to cause a mission failure? What was I supposed to do? So far, this isn't much fun. Eventually, you can get past this with your remaining guys intact, more or less, and then you get to the second artillery piece. Taking out the captain. I don't know what that means. My captain, or the one operating the big gun, or what? I'm assuming I took out the officer directing the artillery fire because they stopped shooting their big gun and started shooting their little ones.
Private Wilson will go scout the bridge. You take the 88 down there. I'll provide covering fire from here. Wait for my signal before leaving. Move out.
I have no idea what he just said. Part of the problem here is, if you're not facing the person who's talking, the sound fades almost to nothing. That's fine for regular dialogue, but when you're receiving orders from somebody, it's kind of important to hear what he says. I can deduce what I'm supposed to do, go down and blow up the gun. Duh. But I can see that sound thing is going to be a problem, because you never know when one of these clowns might accidentally say something important. Anyway, you head down there, take out a few more Germans, plant the explosive, and blow the gun. Then your squad joins you.
I wasn't able to make it to the bridge, but I found another way across the river. Follow me.
Give me that again.
I wasn't able to make it to the bridge, but I found another way across the river. Follow me.
Time and place, guys. And by the way, you're doing it wrong. Once they've spent themselves on their passions, you move to a boat. You're rowing across some kind of lake or river or mud puddle or whatever to track down the colonel. Which colonel? I don't know, the game didn't tell me. My objective just says track down and eliminate the colonel. Of course, that means dealing with the squillion soldiers along the way. They go down real fast when you shoot them in the pee-pee. Then again, I can't blame them. You catch up with the colonel on this balcony. What's this guy made of? Oh, I see. My bullets don't really do anything, but the fall will kill him. Just go with it. Time to move on.
I'll never get past that tank on foot.
Guess what? Just like that other guy, there's no way to prevent that. Your squad is being whittled down as you go. Now keep in mind that back at that other house, when we lost him, we got a game over because we lost too many men. But now it's okay. Confused yet? No time for that now. You have to hop on an 88 and take out the tank. Okay, that was fun. It's getting better, but we still have a ton of quirks. We took out all the Germans in sight, and now we go... where? I can't find a way past this. And where's my captain? He's nowhere in sight. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. I wandered around for a good 5 minutes, no exaggeration, trying to figure this out. Eventually, I ran back the way we came, started in the direction the compass was pointing, but watched my other guy to see where he disappeared to. I found him behind this bush, apparently telling me I need to go around the house. Just the opposite of the direction my compass says.
Oh, there's a big surprise!
Our ultimate goal is this railroad bridge. You got an airdrop of explosives to take it out with, now you just have to plant them.
Hurry, Barnes! Place the charges and we'll blow this thing!
If you'll give me some effective cover for a change, maybe I can. So you plant the charges, they go off, the train that just happens to be coming along at that precise moment plunges into the river and it's mission success.
The hour is go. One's eyes close tight, and families fade. When going to war, which other men made.
Wait a minute, what's this?
Though anxious and frightened, we don't let it show. For the day is approaching when the airborne must go.
If I could hear what he's saying, it might be pretty profound. Best I can gather is somebody's reading a poem about the airborne and their job on D-Day, accompanied by some old slides of stuff they did that day. It's kind of cool, though it went on way too long. Still, any decent tribute to these men is a good thing, so give it a listen and enjoy it. And remember, our next mission is in the Ardennes Forest. In case you don't know your World War II details, that was the main location of what came to be known as the Battle of the Bulge. It was one of the nastiest of the war, and this is the first game I've come across that includes it. Cool. The current mission is taking out some artillery, Nebelwerfers to be exact. It's pretty straightforward for this game, except for all the screen clutter. What is all this stuff and why is it on the screen? I have no idea and I can't figure out how to get rid of it. There's one other problem here. I hope you saw that. This guy stood in front of the tank cannon and waited for it to blast him. In the words of Penn and Teller, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I've seen dumb AI, but these guys pretty well take the idiot prize. If you can take out the tank before they all commit suicide by kaboom, you can move on and work on the rest of the Nebelwerfers. The overall goal here is to get a supply truck. Apparently, we're stealing supplies from the enemy. Well, why not? You get to a compound and take out the soldiers in front of it. Spawner something something. I'm afraid I know what that means. So at least this game freely admits that it spawns these enemies out of thin air just to screw with you. That's a refreshing change, though it looks like a glitch. Eventually you get inside and find the truck you're after. Now you have to get it out of there. To help in that task, you're operating the big gun on an armored personnel carrier.
Supplies, keep that truck covered.
Notice something here. I'm not driving this thing. I have no control whatsoever over where it goes, how fast, or why. The task here is to blast the unholy crap out of anything and everything in the way, including a couple of tanks. And then somebody on the development team got so thoroughly stoned they just threw random crap into it. Rolling down that hill was enough to kill me. That can't be right. Then again, okay, it's obvious that with 4 health points I'm not going to get past this. So I backed up to the save before this one and tried again.
Cover the supply truck, Burns!
Yeah, who's going to protect me? Here we go again with the invisible enemies all over the place. I can't crouch. I'm blasting all over the place, but I can only blast one direction at a time, and they're shooting at me from about 50 directions, so I'm screwed. I am not enjoying this. Time for drastic action. Yeah, doing it again. But unlike some other games, this one shuts off once you exit the game. I'm okay with that because while I'm willing to use it once in a while to get past some sticky spots like this one, I don't like having it on permanently like that other game we looked at a while back. This is much nicer. Okay, let's start blasting. Hey, that guy on the right wasn't going down. Oh, crap, he's one of ours. And how precisely am I supposed to know that? He was shooting his bazooka at a panzer off to my left, which is kind of pointless because obviously I'm the only one here who can kill anything. The rest of these guys are just there to annoy the hell out of me. And drive the truck, can't forget that. In any case, mission accomplished. Next.
This is the best and worst cup of joe I've ever had. Don't know how the crowd stomach this stuff.
You ought to try their cigarettes.
A toast to Sergeant Barnes. Thanks for the weapons and the chow. Hey, Shaney, how ticked do you think Jerry's gonna be when they hear their supplies got hijacked?
Pretty ticked, I'd say. So you head to the captain to get orders.
Barnes! The captain's hit! Get back there and find a medic! Hurry!
So, back the way we came.
Get in your foxholes! Get down! Incoming!
But back the way we came was where the bombs are. Oh well, off we go. Okay, I can't play the game if I can't see what's going on. But it gets worse. This thing is actually timed. You have a certain amount of time to get the medic and bring him back to the captain, or it's mission failure. I discovered this the first time I started this section, even before I got to the captain.
Find cover! Get out of your foxholes! Medic! Medic! Get down!
That's right, I'm stuck in that foxhole. I can't find any way out of it. Jumping doesn't work, there's no path, nothing. You notice that image? The really goofy part is, I got mission failure for that before I ever even got over there to find out I was supposed to go get a medic to help whoever that is laying on the ground there, because I got stuck in the foxhole and couldn't get to the objective before that one. I try to avoid 4-letter words in this show, but I'm going to use one here. This is a mess! So I turned God mode on again to go get the medic. Once I brought him back to the captain, the next task was to hold the line against the German charge. And pardon me, but this is where the stupid reaches unacceptable levels. They're through the line. What that actually means is one of them made it to the trench. Now, you can still shoot him. In fact, I did. But the fact that one lousy enemy crosses a certain plane means mission failure. Here's another one. He crossed the ditch, then went back. I can still shoot him. But it's mission failure because he red rovered hard enough to break our line. Nothing else matters. And I'm not even mentioning the fact that you have to keep going back and forth between the left flank, which is often BFE in the trees somewhere, and the right flank, because you're the only one who can do things like pick up a bazooka and take out a tank, or shoot that one remaining German, or plant a row of pansies in front of the trench so the Germans will stop and go, "Aww," long enough for you to shoot them before they cross that plane. I'm sorry, but as I said before, rule number 1 for a game like this one is be believable. This isn't. Rule number 2 is play fair. This doesn't. Rule number 3, be fun. This isn't. Besides the ridiculous scenarios, the terminally shaky graphics, the superhuman enemies, and all the text clutter on the screen, I'm done with this one. There's only one more major mission after this one anyway, and this has pegged my goofy meter enough times that I just don't care what it is. So that's enough of Spearhead. There's another add-on in my war chest called Breakthrough. Next time we'll be spearheading our breakthrough into that one to see if there's a way to redeem this disaster. Until then, I'm Irving, and I have no life. Just like you. So much for the Battle of the Bulge. More like Battle of the Bubbleheads. No, 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 no. I know what I said, but damn it, it's the Battle of the Bulge. And it's Bastogne. This is where the Americans were hopelessly surrounded and outgunned, and the Germans sent a messenger to give General McAuliffe a chance to surrender. The general's response is legendary. He just said, "Nuts." I can still picture Hitler and his generals trying to figure that one out. That's where I am. I can't just abandon the only game I've ever seen that puts me there. Screw believable, screw fair play, screw it all. Let's do this. Yeah, never mind that even with God mode on, that took 7 tries. And who knew that just holding off the foot soldiers long enough to take out that half-track finished the job? The objectives and directions on screen sure aren't going to tell you. Well, guess what? I just did. Now you know. What's the next task?
Foster, Drake, and the others. Hatcher, you're on that 30 caliber. Take Benson, Verona, and a small squad and hook right over the pass. Barnes, you and I will take a squad straight up the middle. Find cover and wait for my signal.
Straight up the middle. When I was growing up in Central California, the 49ers were my team, but they didn't do too well. Quarterback John Brody just couldn't seem to generate a very good offense. We used to describe his game plan as run up the middle, throw an incomplete pass, punt. I think I know where he got that game plan because this attack strategy sounds like suicide to me. Yep, suicide. Okay, where's the path that I don't get blown up by stuff I can't see and have no idea is coming? That ain't it. Right. Best I can tell, there ain't no such path. I wound up turning God mode on yet again. Passed some more stuff and we're clearing out this church. It's pretty straightforward, except that we have now moved into one of the most annoying things that a lot of games do. You're supposed to clear out a place, but there's always one guy hiding in the toilet tank or something, and you have to search every little corner of the whole place to find him. In this case, he's up in the loft with a sniper rifle. Not bad. Now what? What hotel?
Fans are dead ahead!
Okay, and pray tell, where was he? Now, if you've been following the trend of this set of games, you know this hotel you're supposed to clear isn't anywhere in the immediate vicinity. And you're right, it's clear off over the horizon. Past an 88 you'll use to take out a tank, but you'll have to do it twice because the stupid thing doesn't swing around fast enough to prevent this. This captain is kind of a moron. He stands in front of tanks and expects not to get shot. I'd offer to explain it to him, but I'm busy taking out the tank. And we get to the hotel where he says he'll guard the front. Killed by what? He's outside, these goons are inside, they can't hit me for beans, but they take him out? Let me guess, he painted the target on his nose and said, "Dare you to hit it," and being NPCs who can't miss, they did. Eventually, you clear the hotel while still keeping the captain alive, and then your task is to find it. Again. For the one leading the parade, this guy gets lost a lot. As you get to him, you see this. You don't suppose that's going to be significant at some point, do you? Sure enough, here comes the Stuka plane. So of course, it's up to you to get on the AA gun and take it out. Oh, again, by what? The plane didn't drop any bombs, it didn't shoot, nothing happened! Maybe the prop wash blew his toupee off and he drowned in the snow trying to get it back. I don't know, I don't care. Once you take out the plane, the mission in the Ardennes Forest is finished.
Red on the hills of Bastogne, for its roots have been drenched by the blood of our own. Battered and reeling, we stand in their way. It's here we are. And here we will stay. Embittered, wrathful, we watch our pals fall. God was the end of it all. Confident and powerful, they strike at our lines, but we beat them back, fighting for time. Berserk with fury, they are hitting us now. Flesh against steel. We'll hold. But how? For each day that we stay, more mothers must grieve. For each hill that we hold, more men must we leave. Yes, honor the men who will someday come home, and pray for the men, 'neath the hills of Bastogne.
The Battle of the Bulge was Germany's last big push to regain ground they'd lost, and it almost worked. This could have been a real nail-biter that kept me on the edge of my seat through the entire level. Instead, it was bland, same old, didn't engage any of the major aspects of the battle, and just wound up being an exercise in frustration. As far as I could tell, we didn't have an overall mission. We were just wandering around in the snow trying to avoid the yellow spots. Talk about missed opportunities. This is a big one. The Nazi regime is crumbling fast. The Soviet army is barreling into Berlin, and now you're part of that barrel. Lots of vehicles to take out, including trucks, tanks, and half-tracks. Fortunately, you have a fairly endless supply of sticky bombs. Right. I planted it, ran away, and,
Where's the kaboom?
Notice the rain coming down. It's making the sticky bomb fuses fizzle. So now what? Okay, that works. Expect to do it a lot. This is more like it. Except for the snipers a mile and a half away, we're pretty spot on for what the street fighting in Berlin was like. Keep your head down, check your corners, and have some fun. It's about time. And nobody you have to protect. If you've been checking that little graphic at the bottom of the screen, it says there are no NPC characters on your side. You're on your own. Considering the general intelligence we've seen so far, that is a very good thing. Your primary task is to get into a particular building, crack a safe, and get a list of possible double agents, then commandeer a tank to deliver the info to headquarters. This, of course, means driving a tank. In a lot of other games, this has been a nightmare. How horrible is it this time? You know, this isn't bad. Response to the controls is actually nice and smooth, and I like the way the weapons work. It takes a little time to reload the cannon, which is actually fairly realistic. And unlike the main Allied assault game, you can actually use the machine gun here. Click the right mouse button and your focus moves to it, and you can swing it around and aim it just like the cannon. Like the cannon, it moves kind of slow, but for a change, we have some good consistency. Naturally, as quick as we get into the tank, we start encountering other tanks, half-tracks full of German soldiers, and foot soldiers with Panzerschrecks. Standard fare. Hey, how'd a tank get behind me? Well, take this. Never mind. Moving on. Along the way, we have to drop a bridge so the Germans can't bring their armor up to challenge us. We hook up with our squad, and then it's time for the final battle. The job is to hold the line until our planes can take out the German tanks and stuff. Well, this is underwhelming. Every so often one of their shells hits me but doesn't do much. Then again, maybe I'd better be a little more careful.
Solid in the trenches, Barnes. The CP's anxiously waiting for those documents.
Or not. And that's that. Some basic newsreel stuff and roll the credits. I did get a few medals out of this. Let's take a look. So that's Spearhead. Overall not bad, but not really good either, especially that bit in the Ardennes. The medal talks about holding out against overwhelming odds, but the really overwhelming odds were in the game itself, not the scenario. Still, bad programming and glitches aside, as long as you have the God mode to fall back on, it's not a bad way to spend an afternoon. And like the main game, it shows promise for the series. Will that promise come to pass? I only know one way to find out. I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you.